You're listening to the Zero to Somewhere podcast with Nick Palmisano and Albert Zoe.
We ready to go?
Ready to go when you are, sir.
All right, let's hit it.
Boom!
We had that sick intro by Hollywood. Nick continues to sing songs. Listen, everybody. I've told Nick he's not good at singing, but he loves singing.
I'm not good at.
He loves singing. He's like a shower singer. Every shower singer loves hearing themselves. Nick, you ready to go?
I'm ready to go. I think we need to warn everybody.
Are you going to sing another tune?
Oh yeah, I'm absolutely going to.
He's going to sing another tune.
All right. As you can hear, our producer, Thomas Israel Al-Entjana, the Axe Hunt, has a mixer now.
These guys, we got a nice soundboard with nice effects.
We've upgraded. We have a mixer, and that means that
waste of $1,000.
Yeah, it is definitely $1,000 we didn't need to spend, but.
That's not a joke.
But
when I saw the receipt, I said to myself, "This is too much."
Basically, our business dynamic is that I buy things and Albert hates me for it.
Well done, audio engineer Tom. Well done.
So anyway, I think over time, Tom will actually get good at being an audio engineer, but you should expect for this episode that it will probably be an embarrassing amount of unnecessary effects.
There you go. We are closing out. This is the end, or we're about to end.
We just ended. Of Q3, I can't keep my time straight. It's the end of Q3 as you know it.
There we go. We just ended quarter 3, and
Albert feels fine.
And if you saw our first episode, we talked about how we use great game of business. We have open book financials with our team. It is our first profitable quarter. It took us
18 months.
18 months to reach profitability. There was a little over $3,000 of profit. But the $3,000 that I keep quoting actually is the employee bonus we're giving out.
Yep.
So it was pretty exciting. For the first time ever, we are giving first time in Diesel Jack history, we're giving employee bonuses, and that felt good.
The employee portion of the bonus was like $3,500 or something.
That's right.
Yeah. So there was more profit. But our employees get 20% of profits every quarter.
And it was the first time ever. We had an all hands meeting. We got everyone in. We issued them. We told them that the money was in. And what do you think? The overall feedback? I mean, were people happy? People ungrateful?
No, I think people were happy. We definitely leaned forward starting the company. I think we hired before we needed people. We knew we were going to run negative for a while on purpose because the goal was to build an organization that could handle a significant amount of business. And so now we're at a point where we don't really have to scale a lot of people to get to the next level, which is what we've been working towards. So like, our anticipation is that Q4 will be extremely profitable in comparison to Q3 and set us up for a great 2022.
There you go. And if you're listening out there and you want to work with Diesel Jack, I want to let you know we have 3 roles going right now. We have a graphic designer we'd like to hire. So graphic designer, if you're out there, give us a shout. We're looking for a senior account manager, someone who's got a lot of experience inside of marketing agencies.
I'm going to chime in, though, and say, if there isn't a senior account manager out there, since we have not found one.
We've not gotten good applications.
The applications so far are a bunch of people that are really salespeople, and that's not what we're looking for.
Yeah.
So if you're a junior account manager somewhere and you want to work with people that don't suck, reach out. Great opportunity, good paying job, and you get to see Albert every day.
It's going to be good. That's going to be good. And the other thing I was actually happy about is we put out another job opening that said, "Hey, we're looking for more people that are better at like the more modern social video." And this is just a byproduct of open book systems. Is we've had video people step up and like, wait, I could do that, which has been fantastic. We got a new wave of commercial content coming out this week, which. For anyone who is thinking about hiring a skill, I would strongly recommend suggesting to your team that you are looking for this skill and allow people to ascend to fulfill it. Because if they can fulfill it and make a little extra because they added a skill in their toolkit, that's what you want to do.
Yep.
So we've got a lot of people now really quickly, from what I can tell, learning, gathering evidence of what we're looking for in social video, a lot of direct-to-consumer commercials. They're studying it. I mean, they're already being able to replicate these looks pretty quickly. We're only a week in, and a lot of our team's already producing content that looks on par with some big company productions on that.
Yeah. So, I feel very confident in the direction that we've moved to. Still early. Still super early, but when we've seen like accounts that have had middling performance and we've changed to this dynamic, and in 1 week they're having record-breaking days every day, that's a good indication that we're moving in the right direction. And so yeah, like this was a good week. Everybody, having every employee be able to walk away with, a good chunk of additional money in their pocket. Not groundbreaking, but extra cash they weren't counting on. One, huge step, and then two, making a bet that we needed to change structurally how we approached some video content, and watching that start to work is another win. So I'm chalking it up to 2 wins. Any losses this week, Albert?
We might have some customers leave us, but the reality is we talked about it in previous episodes about how we know that if you're a CMO, right, and you were to launch a new product or service, there's no way you would pigeonhole yourself into one distribution channel or one piece of content. You would use every piece of content you can make, and you would distribute it across every platform you had access to. You wouldn't pick and choose. You know what I mean? You would go attack it. And so we've now changed the way we've pitched. We talked about this, where we're now saying, hey, listen, we run campaigns. You don't have to hire us for an agency of record, but we run campaigns. We want to do 2 days of shooting. We want to do user-generated content. We want to do product reviews. We want to make you a landing page. We want to package all of this together, because we've now learned you need all of these things to be successful. And if we only get to use one toolkit, what was happening to us was we inevitably were bleeding into the other services anyway, because we needed to help the client win, but then we couldn't match with resources. Yep. So that was a tough call. We're moving down this campaign path. Not everyone's going to be able to afford it. That stinks, but we think it's necessary to do a good job.
Yeah, and to be clear, we're not like eliminating any current customers. Like people that are with us, like we're going to ride or die with them until they don't want to work with us anymore. But essentially, like imagine that somebody hires you for ads, but their website is terrible, their product images are terrible.
They have no email system.
They don't have an email system, or they don't like to send emails because they think it annoys customers. And for most companies, it's 25% or 20% of their revenue, and they don't want to use that tool. And so, like, we're sitting here going, you need to do X, Y, and Z. They don't want to do it, or they don't want to. They don't want to pay us to do it, or they're like, well, let's see if the ads work before I improve the landing page. And it's like, man, like these things have to work in concert. And so we've just kind of made the decision that like we want to work with people that really want to work with us, or have the means to work with us. And it's not to say we won't work with small accounts, because we will, but it has to be like a special situation.
Yeah, so those are the decisions we made. Trajectory's looking good. This culminates in our last few weeks. Like we mentioned, we said, hey, we've been reassessing our business. We're looking at the customers that are not as happy as the ones that are happy. We're making adjustments on the fly. Do we know this is guaranteed to work? We have no idea. Early indications so far, this is a positive trend.
All right.
And with that said, let's welcome our special guest. Today, joining us from really far away, a town called Burlington.
Very far.
North Carolina. Salvation Coffee, the only coffee we drink at Diesel Jack. Go get yourself some, salvationcoffee.com. Jim Young, welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's also important to note that Jim is A, a veteran, and B, the president of my favorite range on the planet, Durham Pistol and Rifle, where I am a member. I had to wait 4 years to become a member because of the wait list, but other people that work here were able to get on the list much faster, and I don't like that.
We also like to point out to everybody that Jim, we turned him into a spokesperson for his company. He is the official Salvation Angel. This beautiful man next to me donned wings and an angel halo, and all in the name to build a brand. And Jim, do people recognize you as the angel now?
we do get people come in and yeah, they leave and if I'm in the back, because I usually sit at the back table, if I'm doing payroll or something, and you hear them, "Thank you, Angel."
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it does.
So Jim,
it was fun.
Tell how a grizzled Army vet ended up opening the hippest hipster hippity independent coffee shop.
It's a pretty hipster place.
It's a pretty hipster place in Burlington. It's near Elon University, so he's got a never-ending supply of young co-eds coming in, drinking coffee. It's a very, if you were to look at the clientele, it's a very good-looking place. Jim, how did you do this?
Honestly, it was a whim. I decided I wanted to roast coffee as a hobby just because I like coffee. And so I got a little, 1 pound coffee roaster and was playing with it and messing with different green coffees. And I wanted to just do a little side hustle because the company that I had at the time, and I still do, but the company I had then, I was falling out of love because I had done it for 34 years.
And what was that?
I did audio video systems and surveillance systems for cars and commercial and homes. And it just got to where...
What's your favorite audio system?
My favorite audio system?
Yeah. I used to be a hardcore audiophile, and then I had kids.
Nerds.
And they ruined everything that I had. So it was like, this isn't even worth investing in.
God, it's hard to. The last company that we messed with was was Rockford Fosgate, but even then, you start seeing these Chinese. Everything's manufactured in China. Rockford kept some things that were still American made, so of course you had to pay for it. So
yeah,
so I'd have to say them. Audison and Hertz. Were a good company, and now I think that they're owned by a Chinese company.
So were all these audio systems for cars or for home?
For home, at the time, Klipsch. I liked. We did some Macintosh stuff, and
I like Macintosh.
We had some customers that most of them were audiophiles if we did anything fancy, and they had a nice. Some Rotel amps, and then the real nice turntables.
The highest level I got is I had a BK preamp and amp and definitive technology speakers.
Yeah,
that was as high as I got.
BK's nice stuff.
It is.
They now it's hard when I see stuff like I think JL Audio has probably stayed to where they're still in Florida, even though they have some whole fillers that are probably made in China. But I am looking for a marine amp for the Humvee that is 24 volts, so I don't have to worry about converting the system.
So we got to talk about the Humvee, but first we got to. I've taken you off course.
Yeah, you did.
Let's talk about Salvation Coffee.
Yeah,
how do you end up as a coffee guy from high-end audio?
Well, it was just something I was interested in. The same way that when I got out of the service and I was messing with building speakers. When I was little, I would build speakers in my room and I could remember back then I knew how to wet wrap your own pickups for guitars and stuff. So I just, the customers, it was like their whole thing was to suck the love that you had out of what you were doing. So it's like, okay, I need to find something else so I can still do this, but have this to keep me sane and not kill anybody. So I just started messing with the coffee and playing with it, and it's just coffee, but there's just little things that you can do that can affect the taste, and it still interests me. It's because you'll never know what you're getting. There's always something different, and so I had where my electronics store was. I had the showroom that I had closed down, and because I had jobs that we were doing, and the retail customers would come in, and it's like they're wasting our time, and we have work in the back that we're paying customers. So I just said, we're going to shut the showroom down. We're going to go to email appointment only, And so I had this showroom up front, and I was waiting on the coffee roaster to come in, and I called the city and I said, well, if I want people to come in and sample what I'm roasting, what do I need to do? And they said, well, you got to put a bathroom in, which plumbing, that's probably the most expensive thing we had to do to the building. Yeah. So I just went home that night and I told my wife, I said, we're going to open up a coffee shop. We might as well, we've got to put a bathroom in. So I sat and designed the bar, and it just started, coming to fruition.
How much, may I ask, how much was your initial investment in this?
The coffee roaster was probably the most expensive, and it was a Mill City 3K. I originally had planned on a Mill City 1K, which was, I think, $9,000. But in between it being delivered, I decided, maybe we need to get a bigger one. So we went to a 3K, and I think it was 11 or 12 grand. Wasn't the one I wanted.
That's an expensive starter hobby.
So
I want to back everybody up. He says he got kind of interested in roasting coffee.
Yeah.
His first decision is, I need a commercial roaster.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I need a commercial roaster, 12 grand sunk. Then he's coming around and saying, hey, we might as well turn this into a store.
Yeah.
Let's turn it into a store.
This is Albert's. Here's Albert starting a coffee roasting business.
Yeah, it's
with a match.
With a match.
It's
a cigarette lighter.
I was fortunate enough that I had a little bit of money saved up, and it's just you've got to have the right tools. If you have good tools, and then you start to do something, you can't blame it on the tools if you screw up.
Yeah.
It's you. If the tools are fine and they're what you need, then it's me.
Right. And
so the roaster came, and we got it put together, and I had to learn how to roast because the little 1 pounder was, it's something you bought off of Amazon, and most of the time you just roast it till they turn brown, and then you got to dump it, or if you didn't, they would catch on fire. So I started learning how to roast, and you make relationships buying the green coffee, and we start doing that. I did everything, all of our regular roast, our wild roast, which is a Colombian, and then the Speed Freak, which is an Ethiopian. We had those. And I didn't do espresso. So we got up with a company out of Greensboro that had a really good espresso, and we used that for probably 8 months until I had started playing around with blending some coffees, and we've got an espresso that's really good now.
So one of the things I like about your company is, and this, just already from you talking about, messing around with speakers and your background, most of the stuff that is in your shop is a salvage job. You've got coffee makers, and you've got, stuff on the wall and art and all this stuff that you've pulled out of, whether it's, junkyards or flea markets, and then you've restored them. Like, talk about that.
Yeah, we, part of the name was, it was my personal salvation, and we are, I am a Christian, but we don't shove that down anybody's throat, but it also fit with.
They do shove coffee down their throat, though.
Yeah, we try. But everything that we used in the construction was something that was salvaged from something else. I just happened to have some old scoreboards that were from a town just outside of Burlington that was at their ball field. So we had those on the wall, and I ended up rewiring one of them and making it light up to where it spells out coffee, and it's over the bar in the coffee shop. All the bar is covered with copper. And at the time when I was building the bar for the coffee shop, I had just finished building a pool table for one of my clients, and we built this pool table to look like it was made out of aircraft parts. So I had sheet aluminum and rivets and stuff. And first we covered it in aluminum, and I stepped back and looked, and it's like, it doesn't look right. So I called a friend at the scrapyard and I said, I need some copper. And he said, come on and get it. So we came and got it, and, you know, it's copper now. And wanted to do the equipment as far as I knew what was good as far just research and saying, okay, what's a good coffee brewer? If you're going to have a really nice coffee setup, what's the best brewer? Well, the majority, 8 out of 10 said Wilbur Curtis. They make a good commercial brewer. So I managed to get a couple of Wilbur Curtis brewers from a restaurant that was going out of business at an auction. I learned how to work on them and repair them myself, and then tweak on them a little bit to get it to where it brewed the coffee the way I thought it tasted good. And then we had one little rinky-dink La San Marco, which is, you know, a nice espresso machine. We had that for probably 3 months. And as the coffee shop was going, I would notice we always have a line. There's always a line of people in the mornings and then close to lunch. And I was looking and said, okay, we had a 2-group espresso machine. So if we had a 3-group, we could probably, knock that line out a little bit. So we had a little bit of money where the coffee shop was supporting itself. And I had always wanted a Keys van der Weesten, which they're hand built in the
That means
Netherlands.
nothing to anyone that's listening to this.
Yeah,
so you
probably
got
no idea.
Tom, that didn't even help. That did not help the situation at all.
It's a really good hand built espresso machine, and it's just a work of art. And again, you have nice equipment. If anything's wrong, it's me.
Jim, let's close this. I want to fill in some gaps here for our listeners. How many hours a day were you working in the shop prior to it opening?
Oh man, as far as when I came home and told my wife that we were opening up a coffee shop, probably from 7 o'clock that morning till about 9 or 10 at night was when I got home, because we where the coffee shop is at, we had that old school tile that's down with black glue, and the glue stays. So I'm in there, I'm going and renting floor grinder from Home Depot, and
this hobby sounds terrible.
I was just gonna ask Albert, how would you have approached this same
I wouldn't
problem?
have started. As soon as I saw all these problems, I'd be like, I'm out. I don't want to do this.
It was
a true passion. This is true passion.
Well, it's just I don't think the passion had came yet. It was just the desire to see it through. We've decided to do this. We're going to see it through.
So you're doing 14 hours a day. How many days before you could turn the lights on and let a customer in through the door?
I founded the company. I incorporated online January 1st of 2018. We had our grand opening, or our soft open, October 29th. And then our grand opening was September of 2018. And so, what, 6? No, I guess about 7, 8 months. And
so 8 months of 14 hours a day.
pretty much, yeah, every day.
Bruh.
And I was
This is love. That is love right there.
it was. I was fortunate that my other business, I was able to have some money set aside, and I was still doing that. I still had the pool table stuff in the back where I was building that, and then we had to take it over because it was going into an airplane hangar. We had all that, and I still have those clients today that I'm always doing stuff for, and I'm blessed to have that. It's not me. It is a blessing that I've been put in a position to be able to do that for people and make them happy. And it's also fortunate that they're the type of customer where they just say, we've got this place. What do you think you can do with it? And I'm like, oh, we can do this. And they say, okay, go ahead. And they never say, well, I want you to do this, this, and this. They just leave it up to me. And it grows from that.
That's awesome.
What Jim is calling a blessing, I call 16-hour workdays.
He still He's still pulling 14 hours, 6 to 9.
I was adding
7
a couple
hours.
hours for his other business.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true.
For his first business, which we haven't even talked about how he started that because we're talking about coffee. Right
Yeah,
now.
we're talking about coffee, but like you're on this. This is where it's interesting to me. Is you got the idea that you want to roast. You like coffee. Did you know you were good at roasting it yet? Because it sounds like you didn't. So you're okay. So let's be clear. He's like, I think it's kind of fun.
Yeah.
And to make this fun thing I like doing come to fruition, I'm just gonna go all in and drop 12 G's on a commercial roaster.
The 12 G's was just on the roaster. I mean,
12 G's on the roaster.
there's like copper's not cheap.
He's got
people steal it from like your electrical.
He's grinding 14 hours a day to make a commercial property.
What was the total investment when over that 8 months? Forget about your labor, but 8 months of working on this place. What was your total investment? What do you think?
With I guess with the roaster and equipment, we were probably about 20, maybe 22, 23 grand.
No way.
Yeah, it was. I mean, the Wilbur Curtis machines were expensive if I'd bought them new, but I got them at an auction for $600 for 2 of them.
Restaurants go out of business all the time.
So you built that whole place like as I know it for 23 grand, or
well, if you look at the if you look at the materials list of any job, it's usually not that bad. Like the cost is all in the labor.
I don't know if we should have got Tom this mixer.
Listen, he's doing an okay job. So you sunk definitely some personal cash in the business. When did you know you were actually good at making coffee? Because there's still this big problem, which I've always said, right? Is like if your customers don't love it, your chances of winning are really bad.
I have a beautiful coffee shop with terrible coffee.
Yeah, at no point has he said he's good at coffee.
Yes, it is a learning curve, and you just earlier before we started this, and I was talking to Matt, and I told him, I said, this podcast, the Coffee Angel video, these are things I'm like deathly afraid of. I'm afraid of putting myself out there where people see me.
Yeah.
Because I was born with a birthmark. And I've had it my whole life.
Yeah, that's not a camera problem.
Yeah, but my mom, she's an ex-Marine, and I am a mama's boy. My father died when I was 12. My mom raised me. She was a Marine, but she always said, you put yourself out there, you do what you're afraid of, because then it won't matter after that. Everything else will be easy. And I don't ever realize that she's told me these things until later on, until now. Sure. I'm old as shit, and and it's like, oh, that's what she meant. But it was just a thing, you just do it, and I would taste it, I would taste it 100 times before I let someone else taste it. And then I would ask my wife, and she's going to be straight up with me. This tastes like dog shit, or this is really good, honey. Because
how did the first batch taste?
The first batch was our Ethiopian, was our Speed Freak. And honestly, it was pretty damn good. I guess because I'm sitting there watching it like a hawk. Now, when you first get the coffee roaster, you have to break it in, which means you've got to purposely burn the coffee.
Okay.
And you've got to do 3 big batches because it's soaking all of the oil, the machine oil, out of the machine and burning it away and seasoning the roaster. And that's the scary thing, because it will catch on fire. It's just, it will. You don't know when, but something's going to happen to where smoke is everywhere. And you're running outside to see if the fire department's coming. But
So how big is this thing, so that we all understand? Like, how big is the 3K roaster? Is it like, does it fill a room? Is it?
No.
Can you wrap your arms around it? What are we talking?
I don't know if I can. I can almost wrap my arms around. I guess if I laid over top of it, I can wrap my arms around the drum. I can roast 7 pounds of coffee, a little over 7 pounds of coffee every 12 minutes.
Oh,
okay.
And but it's a 3K commercial. I think it's the smallest commercial roaster that Mill City had. We are looking at upping to a different roaster, but I think I'm just going to keep this one until I just wear it out. I mean, it just keeps going. It's a great little roaster, but it's about maybe 15 inches in diameter and 3 foot long, the tube, and then you've got the burners.
So this thing is no joke. This is
it's pretty good size for a roaster.
Now, how much are you roasting every day now?
It hasn't got to every day because usually I'll just pull a long day. About every other day, I'll pull a long day. So probably 400 or 500 pounds a day when I roast. So about every other day.
400 to 500 pounds.
He's moving to 500 pounds
every other day.
It's crazy. Yep.
Yeah, so 250 pounds of raw coffee a day.
So you're saying that when we order, it's not a big deal? Is that what you're saying? I thought we were a critical component to your business.
It's not a big deal.
This is a 5 pound bag. This is a 5 pound bag. He's doing 250 a day.
So it is of course the coffee that I roast, I purposely have it to where we have our Colombian and then our the Brazil and the Ethiopian, and I also use those in my my espresso blend. So every bit of the coffee I'm using, every bit that I'm roasting, every bit of it gets used. Then we have our cold brew. I'll put our cold brew up against anybody's.
You've got the cold brew is great. And then what is that? What is that delectable treat that you shared with us? It's like some little ice cream creation or something.
Oh, the tiramisu, the cold brew.
The cold brew,
tiramisu.
Like that was like the
You
most.
drink the desserty things,
dude. He was like, "You got to try this," and I was like, "Well, I'm at his place. I'm not going to say no." And he gives me this.
Okay.
Holy crap!
Okay,
it was good. It was really good.
Cold brew with cold foam whip. And then there's like a shit ton of chocolate. And so
everything about it was good.
Shit ton of chocolate.
There you go. That should go on the website.
Put that on that damn soundboard.
There you go.
So shit ton of chocolate.
So you you found out now you're right out the gate. It sounds like you're pretty good at roasting. You kind of get your process dialed in. You open the doors a few months later. What was the first day like? You have a grand opening. Did people show up? Were people waiting to be there? Did you have crickets? Like, were you nervous? What was your first day you opened the doors?
I think we did have a line out the door. We had a really nice day. That it was on a Saturday, and
it was 73 degrees out.
Yeah,
I remember there was a smell in the air. I believe it was ginger.
It was not ginger. It was hazelnut. So. We just opened up the doors, and I didn't sleep, and so about 1 o'clock in the morning I just woke up and I told my wife, I said, I'm going to the coffee shop, and so I went at 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm just sitting in the back, and my daughter and her partner at the time, they were running it. They were the only two. They were running it. That's what they wanted to do, and part of the reason I opened it was to give my daughter, who had some addiction issues, something to do. She had overcome her addictions, and I wanted to do something to give her something to do. And so, of course, they come in, and I'm sitting there in the corner. It scared the shit out of them. And I'm like, just ignore me. I'm just, I'm a little excited. So it opened up, and we had a fairly limited menu, and it just, it was great. We my only issue is that was a Saturday, and then there was, I think, a week before we had our grand opening. So I think we screwed up. We should have opened that day and just stayed open because we really didn't have any issues other than maybe the register program, the POS program going down, which was Square.
That sounds like a big deal.
Yeah. Everything went great except we couldn't collect any money.
Yeah. We couldn't run any credit cards.
We could collect the money.
We handed out IOUs.
Yeah.
So we got.
I'm pretty sure in modern day, if you tell someone you can't run a credit card, they just look at you like you're an alien because they have no cash.
That actually happened this morning with Toast. I get in there this morning and they're like, Jim, the network's messed up. Of course. That's what Toast does, and I'm calling them out. They just had a big IPO, made everybody that started the company multimillionaires.
It's the beginning of the
billionaires.
Beginning of the end. Yep.
They IPO'd at $26 billion.
Yeah. So you go on, and of course I pull up. I go check all of our stuff. Our network's fine. So I go to Toast, and you check the system status, and of course, your curbside may be affected. Card processing may be affected. So, I mean, and you can check the Instagram.
Can either of you think of a single time that a company has been acquired and it got better as a result?
Well, they didn't get acquired; they went public.
Same difference.
No, I mean,
I can't think of a single time.
Yeah, it's. Yeah, I can't think of anything. I'd have to dig deep in the memory bank.
So we this morning, it happened, and we just tell them, we're having issues. If you've got cash, that's great. Otherwise, you're shit out of luck. So we try to announce it and let everybody know. Most people, they'll see our hours and everything, social media, and the Instagram thing. I had been posting on Instagram since I registered the coffee shop as a business. So you can see on our Instagram where I was grinding the floors and doing everything. So the social media has helped on Instagram as far as getting people in there. And like this morning, we were having issues, and one of the young ladies that works there, Brittany, I just said, hey, let's do a live video, let everybody know we're having issues. And so she knows, she did it, and we put it up there. Didn't seem to bother anybody. Most people were like, oh, well, I've got cash, or they might have had to run out to their car. Didn't hurt business today. We're still good. It's really cool that it is doing as well as it's, because it's just a coffee shop, and I'm not the greatest roaster in the world. I'm still learning stuff. It's a desire to put out quality product, and you put that desire in the people that work for you that are making that product. That carries over, and as long as they're having a good time, they're pumping out quality product, the customers are getting it, it's going to keep on as long as we keep that. And I'm not interested in ruling the world with this great coffee. If we keep the bills paid and I can employ some people and make everybody happy, I'm fine with that.
For everyone listening, I wanted to describe where this place is. So Salvation Coffee is at 3321 South Church Street in Burlington, North Carolina. It is not really on a major road. It's not really off the highway. It's a destination, I would say, Jim. Like the location you have isn't like, it's not prime time real estate.
No,
but
it's where my stereo shop was. Yeah. I would be a fool to go rent another building.
But his business.
For those of you that have seen the movie Shang-Chi, it is not unlike where Shang-Chi's mom lives.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, well, I know you haven't seen it either.
I'm gonna have to find out where Shang-Chi's mom is.
You need. There's like one day a year you can find it if you don't have the location.
Okay, well, this place is out of the way, and there's plenty of commercial coffee shops on the main street that you'd have to drive by, and there's independent stops and there's big commercial shops like the Starbucks, Dunkin's, and things like that. But Jim's spot does more business. But the line goes out the door.
I want to hit home. This is in the words of Samuel L. Jackson, this is some gourmet shit. So this isn't this isn't mass produced coffee. This is Jim in the middle of the night with a flickering candle and like an eyepiece that has like magnification where he's watching I can see that the skin of the coffee bean is starting to slightly bow, which means it's at the optimal temperature for, this is some gourmet shit.
Yeah. I have flicked every one of those beans in that bag.
The question I think most people want to know is because a lot of people will say in a retail operation, it's location, it's product, it's probably a combination of everything. Why do you think so many people love your shop more than the other shops around you? Because you are crushing them. I've driven by. The line is much longer at yours.
I honestly, I don't think it's me. No. I think it's because we have
it's you, Jim.
Good product. We've got good people that work for us.
That you make, that you hired.
Yeah, I do have a daughter, an older daughter. My youngest daughter, she's not there anymore. When the shutdown happened, she wanted to do other stuff, so that was fine. But the coffee shop had taken on, it was so busy and we were doing so well. Everybody was having such a good time. When the shutdown happened, we tripled the number of people that worked for us. Business quadrupled because the Green Mermaid shut down. They just, and the Double D, they shut down. And my
Dunkin'
wife and I
Donuts
are
got put out of business by Salvation Coffee.
we're scrambling. You know, we're like, what the hell? Because we thought we were going to have to be like drive-through only. So I'm out there. I go to Lowe's and buy up all the safety cones they have so I can figure out a way to get a line of cars in. And we finally said, you know what? We'll just have both doors open, and we'll have just separation. We'll let people come in. They have a pickup spot, order spot, a pickup spot, and they go. So we did it, and business quadrupled. I mean, it was just nuts. And I did get a PPP loan. I got like $24,900.
The Lakers got $4 million.
Yeah. And we
they couldn't play ball.
yeah, when you settle up. And you figure out
We're going to lose all of our listeners because Tom can't stop hitting the laugh track. Everyone's going to be like, I can't handle it.
when we get the settle up for the PPP loan, when they're going to either forgive you or set up a thing because what people don't seem to understand that it wasn't free money. You might have had to pay it back.
Yeah.
But we got $24,900 for a certain period of time. I think it was a 6-month period of time to cover our payroll. Our actual payroll for that time was $41,900. So we more than fulfilled the requirements to be forgiven for that loan. And it was just it was nice. It helped. I think we could have survived without it, but it did help because we did use it to hire more people, and we're still hiring. So if anybody's out there and they're in the area, come on by. We do have standards as far as the. I'm not going to say the customer comes first because the
modern customer kind of sucks. It's okay.
The customer is not always right. Because if you come in and you're an asshole to the people behind the counter,
I'm right there with you.
You're out.
Yeah, I'm right there with you.
Here's your $6. Hit the road. But I, honestly, it's not me. It's just I don't know. Maybe I have a gift as far as just leaving it up to other people. My oldest daughter, Courtney, worked for Starbucks, and she was in the Green Mermaid. I didn't say the S word, did I?
You can say Starbucks. It's fine.
We can talk about other brands.
She worked for them for 16 years since she was a sophomore in high school. And when they had some kind of restructuring and they were letting all this upper management go, they gave her papers, and she texted us. She was in Virginia Beach. And she texted, she said, I just got fired. So, and as normal at night, I'm sitting up in bed with my wife, we watch TV, and she said, Courtney just texted us, and I said, well, tell her to come home. She can come to work for us. And she changed some things around, and she's in charge of the hiring and everything. And it's so cool because we're family. And we hadn't seen Courtney for, I don't think she had been home for like 12 years. I mean, it's crazy. And I don't know why. But she was just an adult doing her own thing.
Yeah.
But she's a worker. And her mother and I, it's not work to us. I mean, we enjoy it. It's fun. And we like the hustle. It's the adventure of that unknown thing. Is it going to go or is it not?
Well, I noticed when we filmed the Coffee Angel commercial with you that some of the employees that you used to have, slanging drinks as baristas, they have gone on, started their own businesses, and they would still hold meetings and stuff at your location. They definitely,
real estate.
The way you treated them had to have been somewhat positive because these people kept coming back. I mean, old employees kept coming back, doing their meetings, all that stuff.
Albert, how do you think that compares to the way that you treat employees?
I don't think I'm mean, but I don't really have good relationships, I would say, I've worked with in the past. They would probably say I'm not friendly, but I'm not mean. I don't think I'm mean. I don't go out of my way to be mean to people.
Yeah, it has been. It's still a fun ride. I mean, we've been the first year. They had the local newspaper does the best of Burlington, and so we won that first year we were open, and then the second year we won, and now we're up again.
Who wins Best Coat Factory every year?
I guess that would be Burlington Coat Factory.
I'm sorry.
That
was your opportunity.
I've never been in one.
That's where you should have been hitting those buttons. And where were you? Yeah. But I mean, you need to be on it if you're,
But
What kind of audio engineer is this?
yeah, the thing is, I don't think nobody's brought it up, but the social media stuff was a big thing, and I think because we promoted it on Military Strong, that it just skyrocketed. I was like, hey, okay, I will promote it on Military Strong.
Or
Let's do that.
Military Blaze is the other one. It doesn't matter what I post.
Wait a second.
I can be like,
don't give these guys any credit, Jim. That's not
no,
cool.
we're mocked. I think it's acceptable to openly mock them.
Oh, I thought you were giving them credit for real.
No. There's this.
I know what you're talking about.
If you post anything on Instagram and you're a military personality or brand or anything, they're like, promote it now on Military Blaze. And you're like, it's like,
I thought you were being serious for a second.
No, they're like, please stop.
Yeah, and
stop reaching out to us.
And nobody's mentioned I'm the oldest and dumbest person you've had on the show.
No, Hollywood's here all the time.
Everybody else is Hollywood, yeah.
Yeah, Hollywood's here all the time.
He draws a check though. He doesn't count. But
oh shit!
It's really cool, because I'm a Cold War veteran. We didn't do nothing. We drank beer and got drunk. That's about it. I am very proud of my blue cord, and we've tasted the same dirt, just different decades. But it's just so cool. What the?
Yeah, there is literally like somebody must hate this podcast because while we haven't had a murder today like we usually do.
Hold on a minute.
That was the world's loudest motorcycle.
There's a motorcycle that literally just decided to be right outside our window and just blast the engine for a while just so we couldn't hear about the Cold War.
He's probably got a long swing on.
Listen,
as long as
these mics have a very tight radius. That thing must have been blaring.
Yeah,
that must have been the loudest pipe in
Hey,
history.
I want to give a shout out to the Cold War though because the Cold War was awesome. I grew up during the Cold War.
We're laugh tracking the Cold War.
Oh no, but like people don't understand. Like, if you were in Germany, like you were practicing like, blowing bombs on the side of the road to like stave off the Russian invasion. I mean, like that was real. That was real stuff. Like they had barrels full of gasoline and detergent. Just lined up.
Had to be in the winter. Had to be in the winter though, because summertime we got half days.
No,
went to the swim bod. So
well, I mean, you must have had a different.
Topless
You must have had a
swim
different experience. But like my platoon sergeant when I got to Germany was on the older side, and his like private days were literally like preparing for the Russian invasion.
We did, but it was
like casually.
Yeah, it was just like as long as it was in the winter, we knew in the winter we're training. You're out in it. Summertime, not so much. It was,
All right.
Frankfurt whorehouses. No,
We're not
this
taking
went
that
to a
part
weird
out.
place.
We're not taking that part out. That part stays.
We spent.
Note to everybody. If you want to know what Jim was doing,
I'm doing this for my country.
And that's why he needs salvation.
and that's how Salvation Coffee was born.
You're never. It's never too late to get salvation.
It is not. It is not.
But it's I'm true. It's humbling because you guys the combat flip flops, that story. Yeah, I'm a fan. Tim Kennedy, and it's weird to me to have like people that I look up to that are younger than me, but I did a Fox channel, the local Fox channel in Greensboro came by and wanted to do an interview with me for Veterans Day, and they were asking me, and my wife's grandfather, Bob Sargent, he's a World War II Navy veteran. He was on Roosevelt's honor guard.
Was he ever a sergeant?
He says he's the only sergeant in the Navy.
Was he ever sergeant? Oh, he was Navy. That ruins
Navy.
it. That so
Seaman.
ruins it. Seaman sergeant.
So he was on Roosevelt's honor guard during the Yalta conference. So he's got some stories, but he was invited to address the state senate when they had the 75th anniversary of Normandy, and he stood up and he told them, he said, people say that my generation is the greatest generation. He said, I'm here to tell you that these young men who have gone over and they fought for their country and they've lost arms and legs and they come back and they're doing something in society, they're making something of themselves and they're being inspiring. He said, that's the greater generation. And I feel the exact same way. It's like I didn't get to be a part of that. I enjoyed my time in the service, and I would probably be dead if I hadn't have gone. It was just a whim, like anything else I've ever done. It's just, what could happen. So it's truly to be on a show like this with you guys and like Tim.
Well, I didn't serve, just to be clear. You know what I mean?
He just has a mullet.
Yeah, and flip flops.
That is true.
So the combat flip flop, are those combat flip flops, by the way?
Mine are missing right now.
Sad trombone.
I'm wearing my old rainbows, and they don't feel as good.
Yeah,
it's okay to smash rainbows.
But the stories are just like, it's great.
That combat flip flop story.
It was awesome.
That's an insane story.
Yeah.
Literally went to Afghanistan with duffel bags trying to get his
Yeah.
flip flops. Are you kidding? I would have been like, well, it looks like I'm out of flip flops. Oh well, I tried.
Oh.
Yeah, anybody, I would have given up. I'd been like, fuck this. But and of course the business side of me, I'm like, okay, how can we get some? Can we do something with these guys, or what about the Rockathon? Can we do some Rockathon in the coffee shop? And the chip thing was like, what? Because we bought the bakery, so now we've got little bakery stuff going on.
We got to talk about that too. So you're a triple threat as an entrepreneur, and there might be more that I don't know about. But you've got the audio business. Then you start this coffee shop that beats every other coffee shop in Burlington, including Starbucks.
Yeah.
And then you were like, "Hey, I might as well buy a bakery."
Yeah. Let me interject on this one. I show up to shoot the Day of the Angel. We go to show the commercial. Jim says to me, "Hey, try this, this, and this." I said, "Okay." Just kind of like you said. So I eat it. I'm like, "What do you think?" I'm like, "This is really good." He goes, "The person that owns the recipes thinking about selling the bakery and the recipes, plus training," and he just shares the number. He's like, "What do you think?" I'm like, "Do you get equipment?" He says, "Yeah, it comes with a little equipment, but it's really the knowledge, the IP." And then he says, "I want to give her a little extra." And I was like, "Wait, what? Why would you do that?" The price is the price. Jim's a good dude. He hears the price. He's like, "All right, I give you a little extra because I want you to train me. I need my staff to replicate this product." I forgot what I ate, but I ate a sampling. Like, you gave me a bunch of things. It was all
oatmeal cream pie, brownie.
The oatmeal cream pie.
Check. And you made like a keto bar, which,
But I do think like one oatmeal cream pie is like enough calories for a person for an entire day. And it while you're eating it. You bite into it and you're like, "Oh, this is delicious."
So creamy.
But I can feel my arteries closing. They're like, "No."
But at the time, you told us the person didn't want to do the bakery anymore, was moving.
Yeah.
It was available to you. And you asked, and I just asked a simple question, like, how much of this product do you sell a day? And you're like, I sell a lot of it.
Yeah, it was purely selfish. It wasn't. She had other accounts, and we're taking care of those accounts now. But it was purely selfish because we didn't want to lose it,
right?
Because we sell a lot of it, and it's so cool. And like right now, we've been doing it for 3 months. And our orders have doubled over what the original place's orders were.
Now,
these are our competitors that are buying us stuff.
Yeah. Are you gonna sell this stuff online too, or you think it's too hard?
I don't know. We have to talk about that.
Shipping
because
freshness
the freshness stuff, it might be possible. Like there's some cookies, that we do, but the cookies. We don't view the cookies as the bread and butter part of it. It's the The scones.
That, of course, would be your bread and butter shop that you're buying.
Yeah, the scones and the oatmeal cream pies.
Scones and oatmeal cream pies.
And the keto stuff.
That's what the keto bar. I didn't like that one, but the other stuff I like.
Well, there's some other little keto, whatever.
It has no sugar. It's not good.
Sugar is delicious. I just want to point that out. For those of you that have never tried sugar, it's great.
Yeah, so and keto has no sugar, so therefore it doesn't taste good.
Yeah, that's another one I sprung on my wife because, as soon as I talked to the lady that was running the bakery, I went back and I told my wife, I said, we're buying the bakery. And she's like, okay. So my wife does the bakery.
I was just going to ask you that. So your wife now is like the CEO of the bakery?
Yeah.
And you're the CEO of the coffee shop?
Yeah. So
who's the CEO of the
crazy
audio business?
I guess I'm still the one to blame for that one. But fortunately.
But the Mrs. Day-to-Day isn't in the coffee shop anymore?
She's there, but she's not.
So here's the magic question our listeners are going to want to know is when does are you thinking about expanding? Do you want multiple Salvation coffees? Is this going to become a franchise thing?
I had somebody ask me about that because they come in all the time and they said, we're moving to Texas. And at first I was like, okay, cool. I could help you open up a place in Texas. But then you see all these other places like Dutch Brothers and BRC opening up and things like that. And I told him, I said, dude, I think Texas is a hot spot for everybody in coffee right now. I might not want to do it. And so he's thinking about it. But I don't know if I want to franchise it because even though I don't think I'm a control freak, I am because the minute my agreement would be is if I come into your shop,
you're not running it
into your franchise, and the quality of your product is not up to par with the original place, you're not going to have my name anymore.
Well, I think to do it, you're going to have to roast all the coffee.
Oh Lord, it's
or central, get a central kitchen to your spec.
Yeah, I've having watched my friends grow Black Rifle.
Yeah.
I mean,
it is keeping that product. Consistency is.
He bought, when they started blowing up, he bought a 300-pound roaster.
Yeah,
and he didn't know how to put it together.
Yeah.
So Evan had this giant. It was amazing, but it was seriously like a bunch of dudes, kind of apes. Smashing pots together, and at some point the roaster was built, but I mean that thing was enormous.
Yeah,
fucking enormous, and that wasn't enough for them almost immediately.
Yeah,
and so once you start going, it's but you could never trust each individual location.
And that's the big thing where it's okay, maybe. As a lot of people will say, well, as long as you're getting paid for it, well, it's not that. I don't care to have fancy cars or anything. If I keep the bills paid and I'm able to do stupid shit every once in a while, I'm fine with that. I don't need to be a millionaire or anything like that. Just keeping the bills paid.
You could do it Chick-fil-A style. Chick-fil-A, the franchisees don't actually own the stores. Mm-hmm. They can be taken from them at any point.
Yeah,
like what you said. I think the upfront investment's only $10,000 to open a Chick-fil-A.
No kidding.
It's pretty rocking. That's the Lord's chicken too.
Yeah,
you've already got one up on everybody else.
Yeah. Chick-fil-A. Yeah, it's $10,000.
Chick-fil-A is no joke. I don't care. I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah, it's supposedly one of the hardest businesses to get a key to. All these people always try to do it, and it's they are so strict on how they operate their business. You almost have to come from within.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We get people that want to work at the coffee shop and then they realize, oh shit, I got to work. And we have
learn
some,
the recipe for all these
like,
drinks. That sounds like much.
I mean, that's people everywhere.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
we like hustlers. We like people that they enjoy what they're doing, and it's if you have a consistent product and you've got good people that are serving that product, price doesn't matter. You don't have to, it doesn't matter what your price is. People are going to beat your door down to come in there and get that product as long as it's quality and it's good and it's consistent. Mm-hmm. And they feel good when they're getting it and they feel good when they're drinking it or eating it. And then when they leave, they feel good and they remember that.
I want you.
It's just cool. I mean, it's just coffee, really. It's just coffee. And I keep saying that. It's just coffee. I don't know what it is.
But it is truly fascinating that we got Jim Young has the hippest, coolest.
Yep.
It's
coffee
not
shop in
hip.
It is super hip. You walk into that.
It's all young. I mean, obviously, there's young people everywhere. Everyone's good looking.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
When I knew Jim from the range, and Jim was like, yeah, I own this little coffee shop. You got to come to the coffee shop. And I'm like, yeah, Jim's a cool guy. I'm going to go visit his coffee shop. I'm expecting.
You're the oldest guy in the room.
I'm expecting like.
Mel's Diner.
Well, no.
I was expecting like grizzled, like veteran bros,
I expected like,
talking guns.
Like netting up on the walls or something, like a picture of you from the 80s, with like an M1A1 or whatever. And, just some like, I just expected more of a bro kind of place. And I walk in and like,
it looks like a Lululemon store.
Yeah, it does. It's
more girls in Lulu's.
There's people dancing on the shiny copper bar, and it's like, so you want the coffee, you have to drink the coffee from the magic straw, like what is this place? It's like an alternate universe. And
yes, my wife, she picked out the colors. She did the artwork that's on the wall, and every once in a while we'll have a little whim. I say, hey, babe, can you do something like this? She's like, yeah, I'll put it up there. Of course, we never close. So, we've got to be down there at 9 or 10 o'clock at night to do something. And it's Monday night, the ice maker was acting up. So Monday night, after 6 o'clock, Jim's over there with the ice maker splayed out everywhere.
Yep.
And, it just, you got to do it. And would
yeah,
you take care of your equipment.
You got to take care of your stuff.
It's going to last forever.
But so you're an interesting entrepreneur because you are growing, and you do want to grow, but like right now your aspirations are not like national scale.
No.
But I am watching you, and you're going to get forced to grow. Like it's going to happen, no matter how hard you try to be local. Like your online sales are picking up, your in-store sales are picking up. Now you've got the bakery,
Already doubled that.
It's only a matter of
3 months
time
that
before
doubled.
somebody, even if it's not Texas,
Someone with money's gonna want one.
Somebody's going to say, why don't you have one in Chapel Hill? Why don't you have one in Durham? And you're going to be like,
and they're going to wave money in your face and say, I can invest in it. I want to be a partner.
I'm not going to say that wouldn't happen, because if I need a part for my little side project now, the Humvee, you never know. But the shutdown, when the shutdown happened, it affected so much of how we think about stuff right now. I was actually looking at a building on the other end of Burlington, on the eastern side of Burlington, which is totally underserved and ignored by everybody except the people that live there. The council, the city. If it's not downtown, Burlington doesn't care. So it's up to an entrepreneur or somebody, and I don't consider myself I guess I am. Whatever.
You own 3 businesses, Jim.
Yeah, whatever.
In completely different spaces.
So
everyone you've touched has turned to gold, and you doubled one in 3 months.
I did have an RC hobby shop that kind of tanked. But
but no one does that. You see, the total addressable market was like 6 dudes.
That was a terrible business I did. Jim.
Yeah.
So we usually say nice things about our guests, but RC toy making was just a really fucking terrible idea.
Hear me out. I'm going to make radio control cars in Burlington.
I'm going to open up a store for Legos that are only of pigs.
What? It's when we were looking at that building in February, and then of course the shutdown happened, and I actually had the agent looking at it, telling us, okay, and it was probably 3 times what we have now, and I was just saying, okay, we could, I could put a roaster in there, and it could actually be a restaurant in the evening. We could have a separate thing. And it was doable. And then of course, we're talking to him February, April, and then March, the shutdown happens. And I had the chance to meet Richard Petty at a charity event, and we had the coffee. We had coffee set up there, and we met him on a Saturday, and then like that following Monday, his secretary comes into the coffee shop and says, "Richard wants you at the family place for all his events." So it's like, oh, this is cool. Well, shutdown happened. All that shit got canceled. I did buy a concession trailer during the shutdown, which I got a sweet deal on it.
So Richard decided not to buy all your coffee?
No, it canceled all the events, which we haven't.
Okay. So you're saying,
But he's got a food truck.
Because
he's got a coffee truck.
That was a petty move.
Yeah. So, well, I will tell you this: one of the coolest.
Don't you think like that was the opportunity for Tom to drop some? Of the, like
he doesn't want to encourage.
He blows it off like
he wants you to tell actual jokes.
He's randomly hitting the button for literally everything else.
A car crash.
That one,
dude. Come on, man.
So it was just. And that might have gone somewhere, and we're still going to revisit that. We do hear from them, and even for them, it's still a little iffy with people, with certain people. And but one of the things that I remember with him, and I think God, he's in his 80s, and we go up on stage, and like he has our cup, and I told him I had won this piece, whatever, from the auction, and I just went up and I told him, I said, I want you to take this piece that I won and I want you to re-auction it off. I'm going to pay you what I bid, but I want you to re-auction it because I'm not interested in that. I want you to hold my cup of coffee. And he grabs it, and he's like, his girl comes over there with the picture, and he looks down at the coffee cup and he turns it just perfect, and it's like, I mean, this is a pro. And it was just the littlest thing. But it was so cool. This is a guy you grew up watching.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's Richard the King. But that was one thing that showed me, okay, maybe we can do some things. So during the pandemic, we did, I always keep an eye on auctions. I've got equipment that I've got from auctions that's real cheap. Even if I'm just getting it for parts, it pays off. So we got a concession trailer. It's got a full kitchen in it. And I discovered that it's like 9,000-pound trailer, so I needed something to tow it with. So new GMC trucks are really expensive.
Naturally, you decided, I need an H1 Humvee.
No, it's a Humvee.
I know it is. I know.
It's a Humvee,
but
sir.
most people don't understand.
Yeah.
So like I was trying to spell it out for.
Yeah,
thanks for ruining it.
It's going to be wrapped.
It's not an H1. It's a military Humvee.
Is it going to get wrapped with Salvation insignia?
I think the trailer will, but the Humvee, because I'll probably be running around in it by myself. So, but
maybe some custom doors.
So we're going to see. Yeah. We are going to. When will Salvation Coffee start hitting the road?
Oh God, we're still probably 3 or 4 months.
Okay.
Because
that's also not that far away.
2 months. He'll have it done in 2 months.
It's not that far away.
The problem with that is finding an espresso machine that I can run off of the generator. Espresso machine is a good espresso machine is like 230 volts, 50 amps. That's every bit of power that the generator puts out.
We got to go nuclear.
You need your own
there
reactor.
You go.
Just a small
reactor.
We need a small reactor. How hard can it be?
Small.
How hard can it be to get that?
Where's the auctions for like the nuclear subs? Shit.
I think they instantly put you in the like NSA or FBI watch list if you even Google.
Great.
If you even Google small nuclear reactor.
Yeah, they're going to be watching you. Oh man, Jim, it's been awesome having you on the show. This guy owns, like I said, the hippest.
We got to ask him the one question first. Don't close us out yet.
All right, ask him the one question.
What advice do you have for somebody that wants to start either an audio business, a coffee shop, or a bakery?
Yeah.
Audio, don't do it.
Hey, that's the same advice I give to people about T-shirts.
Yeah.
Don't even bother.
Yes. the coffee shop, just learn everything you can about it and just do it. I mean, honestly, and I have been asked that before. Somebody asked, what made you, when you started this, what did you do? Well, you can sit and plan until eventually a few months, a year, whatever has gone by, and you're still planning for this damn thing. You never know until you know. So just do it. Just make sure that you're either single or you have a little bit of money saved up and you can afford to lose a little bit, because you will, because you're going to have to take chances. But nothing worth having is I'm losing it now. This is where my lack of education kicks in. You have to, you've got to take some risks to get a reward. And I've just never really been interested in a big reward. I just want to say, okay, will my investment come back? And if it comes back and I've got a little bit of gravy, okay, fine.
Nice.
It's fun and it's enjoying it. If you're enjoying that ride, that's the main thing. You've got to have fun, and as long as you're enjoying it, you're never going to work. And it's just, my first business became work, and I didn't want to do that no more.
There we go. The pattern repeats itself, man. Maniacally focused on the product.
Wait a minute.
And the way customers
I do want to
react
say this.
to the product.
We had tried, and I should have said something earlier because I knew I wanted to say something. When I think it was the first episode, you were talking about when you get these, when you talk to a media company about promoting you and doing a website and all this other stuff. Well, we were one of the ones that got hooked up with. They send you the nice little sheets and the little folder with the fold out. And so this is what we're going to do. Oh, you're going to have this, and we've helped all these people, and so I fell for it. I mean, I got hooked, and I got screwed. So that was a lot of money wasted, but I learned. And it was just fortunate enough that when you had emailed me about something else at the gun range, that the ball started rolling. I never really thought about Diesel Jack until you ran the little ad special. Yeah. And I jumped on that shit. I mean, because that's the only time we could afford it. I'm not stupid. I'm not going to spend 40, 50 grand on just a media thing when,
Yeah.
But it's been worth it. And, you're my guys. I don't plan on going anywhere. You follow through with everything. Anybody that's teetering on whether you want to do it or not, pull that trigger, because, I mean, you're not married. You can always split up. But I've been burned, and now I know what should have happened the first time. And you guys are killing it, and I really appreciate it, because
thanks, man.
You think outside the box exactly the way we do, and it's always that, what's the worst can happen? Let's do it.
Jim, greatly appreciated, by the way, the check. You can cash now. Okay? It'll clear. But Jim's been a fun guy.
Yeah.
If you haven't gotten to see it, go visit him at Salvation Coffee. All the links and stuff will link up in the show notes so you can check it out. If you want to taste Salvation Coffee, he does sell it online, so give it an order. Salvation, all of it will be linked up, so highly recommended. Go ahead and just dive into a 5-pound bag.
It's great coffee. It's legitimately great coffee. We are super fickle here about it. Albert isn't. Albert will drink anything. But
no, I don't drink Folgers. I don't. I like something nice. But yeah, Salvation is the coffee of choice at Diesel Jack. Visit Salvation Coffee. Jim, thanks for being on the show.
All right.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You literally taught us nothing new.
Man, that was the worst episode. Oh, he's still here.
No, I was going to say, we said it while I was here. The pattern just keeps repeating itself, right? You're going to start seeing that people are just obsessed with whatever it is that they're making, whether it's shotgun necklaces, whether it's Ranger panties. You just really are unlikely to succeed unless you're obsessed with the quality, the product, whatever it is you're selling. Some people care about how they get it priced, so they're like value sellers. Some people care about premium. You can hear Jim; he cares more about it being premium. Mm-hmm. You can win in either way, but you have to be obsessed with it. There's no other way around it.
Yeah, I think one of the big things that I think Jim hit home. So, he was very humble about all of his businesses, but essentially, he doesn't, except for the RC idea, which was fucking dumb.
But I don't doubt that he tried hard.
No, I don't doubt he tried hard.
It's just that there was only 8 guys in all of Burlington that wanted RC parts. So you can't run a business off 8 customers.
But I mean, in terms of like his real attempts, he's 3 for 3. And it goes back to this idea that like you really are investing in the entrepreneur, not necessarily the idea, because ideas come and go, but like execution truly is everything, unless you just have that, $1 billion solution to something. And Jim is, he's doing extremely well with all of his businesses. Again, he plays everything, very humbly, but he also isn't in a rush to try to get to, like, he's not sitting here going, I want to be Black Rifle Coffee. He's not sitting here going, I want to be Starbucks. He's like, I really like my coffee shop. I really like, selling some coffee online. Maybe I'll expand, but like if I do, it's going to be in a controlled manner. And so, where I'm going with this is that there isn't one answer. You don't have to want to take over the world, in a day in order to be a successful entrepreneur. Like, he's running 3 successful businesses, feeding his family, employing a lot of people, enjoying his life. Like, at the end of the day, that's really what it's all about. You spend most of your life at work. And so do you like what you do? So that's my biggest takeaway from all of this is that Jim really likes his life, and so many people hate going to work every day.
Yeah, the guy does love his work. And I'll tell you what, he is correct about this one part. Like it bleeds through in the service of the place. The people there must actually like working there. Like they're always pumped up, happy. The photos look great. If you guys follow Jim on social media, the store looks great. Everyone looks happy. So, I mean, it bleeds through. It bleeds through the organization. And it is true. Like even the old staff members, they have all their business meetings are there. So it does create this constant, I guess, reaffirming.
Yeah, it's a very like family environment kind of thing. But the place is cool. Like you would not expect the guy sitting next to us a few minutes ago to crank out a place that it really is like, if Derek Zoolander could have a coffee shop, it would be there. Derek Zoolander was a fictional character in the movie.
I've seen Zoolander.
Okay, just checking. I just needed to check.
Till next time, everybody.
Thanks a lot, guys.